Hey y'all, welcome to Wednesday Night Youth. It's great to be online with y'all today. I just got a short little devotion I wanted to share with y'all today, and it centers around this verse that if you've probably heard it, whether you thought you have or not. It's in Luke 6:37. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. So, other versions of this might say something like this. Stop criticizing others, or it will all come back on you. If you forgive others, you will be forgiven. All right, so I'm going to give you two examples of two friends, and you can put in you and your friends if you want, name if you want to. You might not know somebody named Angelica or Renee, and if you do, then anyone named Angelica or Renee, this is not personal. I mean, what are the odds of there being two people named Angelica or Renee that are friends that are listening to this? Not the point. Okay, so Angelica and Renee have been best friends since they sat next to each other in kindergarten and Sunday school. But what started as a gleeful partnership on a science report nearly stomped out their friendship. Angelica liked to chat as much as anyone, but when the workload got serious, she wanted to split up the project and get her part done. Renee figured Angelica was mad. She was, when Renee took charge and told Angelica what to do, and neither of the girls did well meeting deadlines, which led to nasty words like, well, you're lazy, and retorts like, well, you're stupid. If you haven't experienced conflict with your best friend, either A, your best friend exists only in your imagination, or B, your best friend is a pen pal and you don't speak the same language, or C, one of you or both of you is an alien, or D, you and your friend aren't as close as you think. Because whenever you know another human being really well, conflict is inevitable. It's just going to happen. Because, I mean, everybody, I have friends that I've had since I was 3 years old. I've had friends that I've had since college. It's not all cupcakes and rainbows all the time. Everybody has conflict with somebody. They're not going to get along, and things are going to be said, and it's not going to be kind. So, you have two choices when you have conflict with a friend or someone you care about. You can either fix it or get rid of it. You can either dissolve the friendship or you can resolve. Dissolve or resolve. You got to fix it or set flame to it. So, when you do have conflicts, because you will, here's some suggestions that I have. This is from an email I got from Scott, who got it from Josh McDowell, who's a really prominent youth guy. And so his ideas are like this. Work at openness. So that's like sharing with each other. You won't get anywhere thinking you're always right. Sorry, you're not always right. And even in the situation of conflict, you might be the one that's right. But that doesn't mean that the other person is completely wrong. And if they are, there's a way to talk about that with them and not being loud and rude and ugly. So, another thing you might want to do is choose your timing. Sometimes when you have an argument with a friend, it's not like, hey, like 3 o'clock, let's just schedule a really great argument with my friend. Arguments don't always happen at good times. So sometimes what you need to do is like take 5, go to your corners, and talk it out when you have the time and the energy and the space to talk about it. Don't start getting on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and talking about how terrible and awful you think they are. Think about what we talked about last week with the silence. Just being like, take a minute, calm down, let them calm down, and then like send them a text, give them a call, be like, hey, like, I know we were about to have a fight and I want to talk about it. Can we talk about it? I would also say pick the best words, pick the right words, because sometimes when you get into it with somebody, you just start running your mouth and saying stuff, and you don't solve anything, because all you're doing is running your mouth or being loud and not listening, first of all. And then you just run your mouth, and then you start saying stuff you don't even mean. So sort of think about what you want to say beforehand and see if that'll make things better or if they'll make things worse. Also, watch your tone. It's real easy to cop a toot or get loud with somebody, especially if you're like, yeah, I know I'm right and you're wrong. Like, that doesn't solve anything. So watch your tone. Think about, like, if you just start throwing out judgment and sarcasm and criticism, you're going to get shut down. That doesn't solve it. That doesn't make it better, and your friend is going to just tune you out. Think about how the situation feels from your friend's point of view. Even if it is completely their fault, if they're not coming right to you and saying, I'm sorry, it was completely my fault, then they think some part of the situation is your fault. Think about it from their perspective. Think about how they might be feeling. Think about how they might feel instead of how you feel. Maybe think about that problem a little deeper. Like, your friend might be mad at you right in this moment, but they might not actually be mad at you. They might be mad because of a whole other situation. Like, they could have, like, had a fight with their mom this morning, or had a fight with their brother last night, or had a fight with some whole other friend, or or just mad about some other whole situation that has nothing to do with you, and they just choose to take it out on you. Sometimes that'll happen. So if there's an issue with that, be like, well, hey, what's the problem? Like, is your problem with me, or is your problem with somebody else? And that you're taking it out on me. Sometimes you just need to find that out. That once you can talk it out and think out what's happening, if you and your friend are still talking by this point, that's good. So think about how you can solve that problem. Talk about how to keep that conflict from happening again. Because, like, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't really like fighting with people. So if you do like fighting with people, then that's a whole other issue. And I don't think we can even touch that today, if you like actually enjoy fighting with people. So the best thing you can do when you're in an argument with a friend or with a family member, somebody you care about, decide on how to keep that from happening again. Like, if you and your mom just start going at it because she told you to wash the dishes, and you, like, just start screaming at her because you're like, I don't want to wash the dishes, you don't know me, and all this, then maybe you need to be like, hey mom, like, when you asked me to wash the dishes, I wasn't feeling good, or I was working on my homework, or I was on the phone. I'm really sorry I yelled at you, but could you please, like, check on me and make sure that I'm not doing something first? Or I'm going to wash, or even just simply like, I'm going to wash the dishes now. Or even if you don't feel like, if you don't have that conversation, Mom, I'm going to go wash the dishes, just go do it. Just go do whatever it is. Just figure out a solution of how to make it better next time. And don't give up until you've worked stuff out. And even if you can't work things out, think about, there's a great example of Paul and Barnabas. Paul and Barnabas were two really good friends in the Bible. And they had a really sharp argument. That's what the Bible calls a sharp argument. They were just like fighting about something, and they couldn't get to agree. But they went their separate ways from that moment. Barnabas went one way, Paul went the other way. But they left with the same goal. Like, even though Barnabas's goal wasn't Paul's goal, and Paul's goal wasn't Barnabas's goal anymore, they still knew that their goal was to be missionaries and to share God's love. And they're like, well, I'm glad you've got that goal, Barnabas, that you want to go this way, but I want to go this way. But they left in love. They didn't leave like walking off like, oh my gosh, like, Barnabas is so stupid. Like, why doesn't he want to go this way with me? And Barnabas wasn't like, well, Paul, like, you're so dumb. Like, why won't you go this way with me? And sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes If you can do everything you can do, there's a great verse in Romans that I just love. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Sometimes there might be situations where you and somebody just don't get along ever, and that might be completely on them. It might not be your fault at all. You might just be dealing with somebody that's got issues over here. But the Bible commands us, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So, if somebody's over there and they're running their mouth, that doesn't mean you have to go run your mouth. If you and a friend are not friends anymore, and you can not be friends nicely, live at peace with everyone. If they go their way and you go your way and you're not friends again, live at peace with that. But I would also say another great solution that you can do is pray for your friend. It's really hard to stay mad at someone that you pray for all the time. And that person you might be fighting with might not be a friend. It might be your mom. It might be your sister. It might be your brother. It might be somebody in your life that you just have to deal with all the time. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. So I want to challenge y'all today to think about what is something you can do. If you've got a conflict with somebody, if you've got something going on with somebody, what can you do to make it right? And if you've done everything you can do to make it right, then pray to God about that. Tell him, like, God, I've done everything I can do to make that right, and he'll give you peace about it. And you can go on about your life, and they can go on about doing whatever they're doing. But if you can do something to make something right with someone, do it. I encourage you to do that this week. And I encourage you to think of ways that you can be a better friend this week. And I hope to see y'all real soon. We'll let y'all know as soon as we know. And y'all stay safe, stay well, make good choices. Have a great week.